We are 9 months into Stevie Gerrard's run as Aston Villa boss, but is he delivering what fans and owners expect? Stevie Gerrard, legendary player and very much developing manager, but a few doubts have arisen over the past few months of his reign at Aston Villa. On this latest dearly departed, we'll have a look at what's gone down and I'll give my thoughts on where we are right now with Gerrard. Of course, I'd love to hear from you down there in the comments. Let's get into it. We'll start with a few stats. Gerrard was announced on the Villa website exactly 10 months ago today. The team were 16th, backtracking only 0.9 points per game under Dean Smith, having just lost 5 on the trot. During the season under Gerrard, Villa climbed 2 places to finish up in 14th. The points per game did, however, jump to 1.3, and Villa ranked 9th in the league over that period. Gerrard said during pre-season that targets would be kept internal, but did mention a top half finish. There was a key personnel change in the Villa coaching staff during the close season, with assistant head coach Beale leaving to take the QPR job. Beale was replaced by the equally highly rated Neil Krissy, who left the top position at Blackpool to join Gerrard's coaching staff. I tend to avoid listening to claims about assistants being the brains of the operation. They're normally made with zero evidence, but the change will, of course, have been a significant one for Gerrard to have to cope with. On the plus side, Gerrard, like Smith before him, was heavily backed by the ambitious Villa ownership group and appeared to have added to the squad well in pre-season. Phil Coutinho joined permanently from Barcelona after his exciting loan move last season. French international Boubacar Kamara was added at the base of midfield, and Diego Carlos, a hardened, ready-to-go centre-half, came in from Sevilla. All players appeared to be upgrades in key positions in that Villa first 11. Gerrard's pre-season rejigging didn't extend only to some incoming players, as he hit the headlines for taking the captaincy from England's centre-half Tyrone Mings and awarding it to midfielder John McGinn. Gerrard said that not having the responsibility of the captaincy will allow Tyrone to focus more on his own game, and then proceeded to drop him from the opening fixtures, saying that Mings needed to look me in the eye and show me he's ready to play. That opening fixture didn't go so well for Villa as they went under 2-0 at newly promoted Bournemouth. Mings returned for a 2-1 win over Everton in Game 2, but centre-half partner and new recruit Diego Carlos stepped out with a ruptured Achilles tendon in need of surgery. It was the next 3 games, though, that really got Villa fans asking questions, as 3 straight defeats would leave them second bottom at the end of August. First, Villa went down 3-1 at Selhurst Park, despite having led Crystal Palace early on. They lost 1-0 at home to a late deflected strike against West Ham, but in reality created little. And despite a bit of a first half pasting down at Arsenal, they were level 1-1 with 15 to go, but conceded immediately and lost 2-1. Gerrard was typically forthright in his interviews post-game, referencing a lack of technical quality as well as criticising leadership and his team's inability to execute their game plan. No such problems with me executing my game plan, and it says right now that I need to ask you to hit the thumbs up button on the video, help it try and reach as many people as possible. You can also support over at patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Gerrard still clearly not happy with his squad, and deadline day saw another 2 new arrivals, both with a bit of a defensive slant and both with plenty of Premier League experience. Bednarek came in at centre-back on loan from Southampton. Dendoncker, another kind of central midfield stopper, in on a permanent from Wolves. Gerrard was also involved in another defender snub situation, as out of favour fullback Frédéric Guibert was unceremoniously removed from the club's website and took to Twitter to show his displeasure. Now, the most recent performance from Villa may give cause for optimism, as they drew 1-1 with Manchester City. Gerrard confessed to taking a different approach and sacrificing technical quality this time in Coutinho and Buendia for running power in behind with Bailey and a more combative, defensive-minded, intense midfield containing Camara, Louise, Ramsey and McGinn. You wonder whether, in the short term, Stevie Gerrard might look at this type of approach as a means of getting the season going. All of that leaves Villa just outside the bottom 3 in 17th spot, but below that point per game survival standard and having lost 3 out of 3 away from home. 5 of Villa's next 6 Premier League games are against Southampton, Leeds, Forest, Fulham and Brentford. A run that, aside with designs on finishing in the top half, would expect to be able to leverage, but of course a run that ownership will not be happy with regular defeats in. So, to get back to the title of the video, is Gerrard doing a good job as Villa boss? Well, right now, no, he isn't. And you would think if this was game 26 instead of 6 and Villa were 17th, there might be some conversations going on. To reframe the debate slightly, the question probably needs to shift to, is Gerrard going to deliver as Villa boss on the basis of what we've seen unfolding at the club so far this season? But that doesn't quite make as pithy a video title now, does it? I've no reason to believe Gerrard won't deliver, but there are a few things that look like they could stop him. The transition from Beale to Krissy on the bench is an obvious one. Perhaps while that's happening, the pragmatic sacrifice of technical quality might have to continue, although with the fixtures coming up, maybe those are games where you do want Coutinho or Buendia or both taking advantage of that possible extra possession and time on the ball. There does honestly seem to be a bit of a personality query as well. As a player, Gerrard went and solved problems himself with aggression and intensity and dragged his teammates along with him. That personality worked a charm many, many times. He seems to be trying to do the same as a manager with Tyrone Mings and some of the public criticism of his team. This will only work if the players buy into it and win games. Then do it again, rinse, repeat, and the aura grows and away you go as a respective manager. If the players reject it, and the players rejecting it are the ones that Gerrard is left having to rely on, then we all know how that would end up going. So, to conclude, the league table is probably just a little bit too damning right now to be saying, yeah, good job, well done. But I still look at the mix of club, fans, owners, squad, and Gerrard and think it is a good fit and he will ultimately deliver come what may. That being said, this next period up to the World Cup is one he's going to need to navigate with a lot of thought, consideration and good decisions if that's going to be the case. Does he need a little manual override temporarily on that instinct Gerrard seems to have to steam in very bluntly and honestly? Hey, that might be exactly what this Villa squad need. I now, of course, invite your thoughts in the comments. What is your take on Gerrard? Is he doing a good job? And how will this work out? If you want to hear my thoughts on Villa back in pre-season, you can click up here. Or for a bit more on Neil Critchley, I wonder what key role he might have in all of this. Click here.